And, you know, there's a lot I'm sure that you're catching up on, like all of us are. I'm over here right now in Phoenix, Arizona, and many of our top leaders in the company, besides you guys, are here in Phoenix getting ready for our New Year kickoff event. And I can't wait. You know, the company every year, every single year, they just deliver new and fantastic information and fantastic support. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot to report on. We have our next webinar coming up next week where we are going to be covering, you know, all of the updates from the New Year's kickoff. So be sure to be on that webinar. Let's go ahead and kick this off. So Lenny Evans asked me to go through this with you guys tonight and teach with you guys about the Think and Grow Rich philosophies. How many of you guys on the line, if you've read it, typed in I've read it? If you haven't read it, typed in I haven't read it. I just kind of want to get a feel for what your background is. You've read it, great, Jeff, awesome. And reading it, I got it. You've read it, you're reading it, that's good. All right, so Richard, okay, good, this is good. And Mike, you just started reading it. Okay, perfect. Well, let me just give you a little bit of background about myself, and then we're going to go through these together, okay? So we're going to talk about these 6 proven steps to success, okay? And just for a minute, if you could just, you know, close your eyes and just take a moment to think about this next year of your life. And think about what it is that you want to have happen for you in 2012. And just kind of visualize some of that stuff happening. You know, the family members that you're going to be with, the fun that you're going to be having, the lives you're going to be changing, the dreams and goals that are going to be coming true, okay? So what if the information I'm about to share with you tonight, what if this information is going to make the difference for you in being able to actually accomplish it this year? And I ask you that because I want you to open up your mind to the fact that this information is proven to work. I'm going to share a little bit with you about my story, if that's all right with you guys. I was, you know, let's go back, 15 years ago, when I was first introduced to this information. Now, I had been introduced to the information before, but 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with what my doctor told me was an incurable disease that could turn into a life-threatening disease. Okay? So very serious information this doctor shared with me. And then a friend of mine shared with me, after I told her what happened, that I could heal my own body. Okay? And she started to share with me about the ideas behind what it takes to heal our own bodies. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with like a holistic type of approach to wellness, to your life, a holistic approach to your goals. But that's what she introduced to me, and I began to study and I began to learn. And some of the information that came across my path is this information I'm going to share with you tonight. And I used this information to not only heal my body, okay, yeah, right on, Richard, not only to heal my body, I also used this information to create the life of my dreams. I used this information to go from being, you know, massively in debt and having a job that, you know, where I worked for other people and helping them get rich while I was just, you know, barely able to get by. And I was able to transform that experience into an experience where I'm debt-free, and I got to fire my boss, you know, I got to replace my income, I got to double my income, and I got to be working part-time. So I've used this information myself. That's why I'm telling you guys that it works. That's why I'm so excited to share it with you. And I'm going to challenge you in 2012 to use this information. And it's only going to take a few minutes of your time to use this information to really create the 2012 that you want to create. And mute all the lines on the, there we go.
You're now muted.
Sorry guys, thanks. Okay, so we've got people that are listening in on our conference line only. And then we have people that are actually listening in on our webinar and can hear us through the computer. So welcome to all of you. Let's roll up our sleeves and go to work. What we're going to talk about tonight is this study that was done, and it was actually put into a book, and the book, of course, is called Think and Grow Rich. And I don't know if you're familiar with the story behind Think and Grow Rich, but I'd like to take a moment and explain that to you so you can appreciate, exactly what the book offers. I highly recommend you read it. Matter of fact, I recommend you read it quite a few times. I think I probably read it totally 10 times in my life, and really get to know this information. But basically, you have a gentleman by the name of Andrew Carnegie. You've probably all heard of him. He was the steel tycoon, and he was the Bill Gates of his day. Okay, now not only was he rich beyond wild imagination, but he was also said to have more millionaires working for him than anyone else at that time. Just imagine that. Imagine having more millionaires working for you than anyone else. That's obviously very exciting, and it's possible in our company as well. It's possible. You could have that. You could have multiple millionaires in your organization. And imagine that. No education, no background. This is all possible for us in this company. But obviously for, Mr. Carnegie to get that wealthy, he must have been in possession of a lot of knowledge, that the rest of the world just didn't have. And what he did is he revealed his secrets, okay, if you will, to Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is the author of the book in Think and Grow Rich, but the way that it happened is Napoleon Hill was just a boy at the time. And Dale Carnegie, after he revealed his secrets to him, asked him if he would be willing to spend the next 20 years or so preparing himself to take these secrets to the rest of the world. And thankfully, Napoleon Hill accepted that assignment. Okay, and what he did is he set out to find a practical formula that average men and women could use to generate wealth, happiness, and overall success. And of course, we all know we have an additional element available to us, which is lifelong health. So Napoleon Hill set out and he studied, and these are the names that you're looking at here. He studied people like Thomas Edison, and he interviewed him, and he spoke with him, and Henry Ford, and the Rockefellers, and he studied what Alexander Graham Bell did, okay? And what he did is he was able to extract these great men's philosophies on life, and their tips for success, and their advice to others, and then he produced this book, Think and Grow Rich. Now recently, I don't know exactly when, Bob Proctor, and many of you are probably familiar with him, famous and personal development, personal growth author, Bob Proctor, from The Secret. Bob Proctor created a application for us. Now you can get it on your iPhone or your iPad or your smartphone, or you can just go to Google and you can Google Bob Proctor's 6 Steps to Success. Okay? And what Bob Proctor did for us is he created a series of 6 videos. I'm going to go over those with you tonight, and you can go over them in more detail later. But what he did is he took the exact 6 steps from Think and Grow Rich, the exact steps, didn't change them at all, and he laid them out in these videos. These 6 steps are proven to produce the results. They're proven to work. So here's what they are. Let's go ahead and get busy with them. Step number 1 is the exact amount. We're going to go through these in more depth in a moment. Step number 2 is what will you give for that? Okay, you got to figure out what you're going to give. Step number 3 is by when. Step number 4 is what is the action plan. Step number 5, your statement. You're going to make a written statement. And step number 6, will you read it twice a day? Because that is what the proven system to work requires. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's go to the first step. It's so exciting to me to know these steps. I was sitting here, 10 years ago, like I said, in debt, way in debt, like $40,000 in debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was running a company for other people. I was barely able to get by. Definitely my dreams were dying inside of me. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have this. I'm never going to have that. It's just not in the cards for me. It's just not going to happen. I'm never going to get there on the course that I'm currently taking. And I was introduced to this information and began to apply it. Okay, so I'm so excited to share it with you. Step number 1, and if you have a pen and paper out, go ahead and just write it down right now. You want to fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Okay, you need to understand that it is not sufficient to say, I want plenty of money, or it's not sufficient to say a vague statement at all. It must be exact. It must be measurable. If you guys are on the chat room over there, give me a Yahoo or an amen or a yes. You must have the exact amount. Okay? So if you have your pen and paper, and you have a moment right now, and the number has popped in your mind, or the idea has popped in your mind of what you are going to create in your life in 2012, go ahead and write it down. Feel free to put it in the chat bar if you want to. Put it out there if you want, but definitely write it down. If it's come into your mind, I want you to know it's possible. It's possible, and you're worthy of that thing happening, and everything you need will come to you to make it happen if you choose to follow these 6 steps. So step number 2 is going to go, thanks Calvin and Dave, hi you guys, hi Angie, I see you guys over there, thanks so much for being on. Step number 2 is that you must determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. You see, there is no such thing as something for nothing, right? You know, it isn't just going to happen, right? We don't get to just say, I want $10,000 next week, and it doesn't just show up at our door. You know, that would be nice. You know, a lot of people just sit and ask for it. None of you, of course, but people do that. And the reality is, we all know that is just not going to work. We must give in order to receive. And what are you willing to give? What do you intend to give in return for the money you desire? Now that's going to take you a little bit more time to figure out. But just write down, what will I give for it? Okay? Awesome. Let's go to the step number 3 and step number 4. Step number 3 is buy when. Now, this can be a little scary. I know it certainly has been for me in the past. And by the way, you guys, if anybody wants to put out their goal or their exact amount that came to their mind, you're welcome to put it in the chat bar. We'd love to support you in that and hold that vision for you. Step number 3, determining the exact amount, can be a little scary sometimes because, you know, just not sure, right? I mean, how is it going to happen? And please let me give you the best advice I can give you. Great. Thanks, Jeff. $1,000 per week by June 12th. June 2012. That's awesome. Don't worry about the how. You mustn't fret about the how right now. Okay? You see, the how is going to come to you. The perfect people, the perfect ideas, the how will come to you. If you do these steps every single day, the how will definitely come to you. So right now, don't worry about the how, just come up with the buy when. Oh wow, this is pretty wild. Angie and Mike and Jeff, you guys all have the same goal. Okay, form a mastermind group. That is my suggestion for you guys. Form a mastermind group. Hold each other accountable that you're going to do this and you're going to do these steps, and maybe talk once a month and just do it. So right on. Okay, so step number 3 is establishing the exact definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Okay, so, you know, the science of getting rich, I don't know if you've ever read that book, but the law of gender comes into play here. This is why we must state exactly when. The law of gender translates to this: every seed has a gestation or incubation period. Okay? So you must give the time. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You must remember that you are just guessing at the time. Okay? Go by the feeling that you have inside of you when you're coming up with your time. You know, I think it'll take me this long, or I think it might take that long. Remember, don't give yourself an enormous amount of time. You guys are great. You're looking at like a half a year goal right here. This is perfect. Okay? Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. That is in Parkinson's law, okay, The Economist in 1955. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So we must say by when, okay? And remember, when you're stating by when, you are only guessing. Okay, I think I have set, you know, my 5-star goal. This is, I think, my 3rd year that I've set my 5-star goal, you guys. But it's okay, because you know what? It's going to happen. So you're only guessing by the time, and if it doesn't happen at that exact time, you just reset the date. Okay, hold on. What happened is I think I didn't advance my slides. I was yakking too much. Okay. Okay, guys, thanks for standing by. And let me just get us back to our slide. All right, where were we? We were right here. Step number 4, what is the action plan? Creating a definite plan and beginning at once is mandatory. Okay? You must create an action plan. You must begin at once, whether you're ready or not. It doesn't matter, okay? There's a Quaker saying, Bob Proctor goes over it in the videos. It says, pray and move your feet, okay? Just pray and move your feet, you guys. There's no getting ready to get ready. Create your action plan. Now, it doesn't have to be a big, elaborate action plan. You know, I made mine very simple, and I'm gonna share mine with you in just a moment. But write down that step and make sure that when you create your action plan, you're creating it in stuff that you are capable of doing right now. You know, if your action plan, you know, had something in it that you didn't have the money to cover, then that's not in your action plan right now. Create an action plan and begin at once, whether you're ready or not. Okay? That is the most important one, I think. I really do. Okay, let's go into the last steps. Step number 5 is this. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go through step number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to regroup it, pull it all together, and you're going to write a written statement. Your statement. What I call mine is my 6 proven steps. Okay, that's my 6 proven steps to my beach house and time and financial freedom. Okay, step number 5 is you're going to write your statement. The statement is going to include the exact amount of money you desire, which is step number 1. The statement is going to include exactly when you intend to give, what you intend to give in return for the money you desire, step number 2. The statement is going to include a definite date when you intend to possess the money. And it's going to include, the statement will also include step number 4, which is going to be your plan of action. Okay? So you're going to write those things out. That is step number 5. You write out your statement. Okay? And step number 6 is where the rubber meets the road. This is really it. Are you willing to read your statement twice a day? If you're willing to read your statement twice a day, I want to see it in the bar right now. I want to hear you say, I'm doing it. I'm willing. Step number 6 is reading your statement twice a day. When you wake up in the morning, yeah, you will. Right on. Go, Angie. Go, Mike. You have been. You go, Jeff. Awesome. Awesome job. I've been doing this since I retaught this class. Dave, thank you for that. I've been doing this since I retaught this class about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago on Lenny Evans' morning call. And I've been doing it. And it is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Calvin, for your quote there. Thank you. Awesome. So step number 6 is reading your statement twice a day, every morning and every evening before bed. It is the repetition of this information is what your mind needs. You know, you must feel it when you read it. You must believe it when you read it. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And you must see it. Hold the vision. You know, my dear friends, I have a couple friends that have accomplished amazing, amazing things. I have quite a few of them, actually, but, you know, the couple that I'm thinking of right now, Willie Gault, you know, the fastest man in the world in his age group. You know, Willie, he told me, I said, Willie, do you visualize your running? Do you visualize, you know, hitting those times? He said, absolutely. He's like, I visualize it, I see it, I speak it all the time. And, you know, that piece right there is so powerful. You're going to feel it, you're going to believe it, and you're going to see it. And when you read this statement, if things come up for you, the negative beliefs, the disempowering beliefs, I'm not, you know, I can't do this, or this isn't happening, or it's not going to happen, or I've tried this before and it didn't work. Any of those negative beliefs that come up, celebrate them. Acknowledge them. Just thank you for sharing. And just understand that is not true. That's just your ego tripping out a little bit. It's just a little bit afraid of change. It's just a little bit afraid of the unknown. It's just trying to keep you safe by keeping you where you are right now. Just stroke it. Stroke your ego. Thanks for sharing. But I am so worthy. And just say those words. I am so worthy. I'm so worthy. And say the number. Say your statement. So, you guys, I'm going to tell you this. I am so excited for all of you guys that you've taken the time to listen to this. And for those of you that listen to it later, big high five to you. A congratulations to you. I know this stuff works. I know it works. I've done it. We've seen it. It's worked for thousands. It'll work for you. It cannot not work for you. This is just a small piece, but it's a huge piece of creating the success in your life that you want. And I'm just acknowledging you, and I'm just congratulating you for being here. I'd like to take a moment and just say my statement. I have it memorized. I've said it probably 300 times since I started this just a few weeks ago. It just keeps running through my mind. So it goes like this. My 6 proven steps to my beach house and time and financial freedom. I am so happy and grateful that I am now earning $500,000 a year, $9,615.38 a week. I am so worthy of 178 weekly cycles, with 106,800 volume on my left and 53,400 volume on my right, on or before 12/12/12, my sister's birthday. And in exchange for this, I will teach and show people a proven system to improve their health and their wealth. I will add a minimum of 10 people every week into my database, setting appointments, asking them to take a look, and asking them for referrals. I will talk to my top leaders on my left and my top leaders on my right every single week, knowing their why and speaking belief into them. Every morning I will write my intentions, my delegations, and my gratitude. And in 2013, I am taking my family on a trip of their lifetime. And so it is. Woohoo! Give me a high five, you guys. I want to hear your statements. You guys can share them with me anytime, anytime. Thank you, you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. You know, I'm on Facebook, Ronda Coallier. If you want to get on my fan page, I haven't really started that yet, but I'm just started. It's Ronda M. Coallier. If you want to post your statements or you want to send me a private message, please do. I'd love to know them. I'd love to hold that vibration with you. And I just want to wish you guys an amazing, amazing 2012. We will be back here next week. When is the next one? I'm sorry, you guys. I think, let me go in my inbox. I think it's Monday, or is it Tuesday, the webinar? Let me look. The next webinar that we have, we're going to be going over all of the New Year's kickoff, is next Tuesday. So join us at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We're all going to be going over the New Year's kickoff, all the awesome information. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.